In this lesson, we are going to solve word problems by adding and subtracting. Oh, it should say fractions. By adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so before we do that, we need to dive into these things called mixed numbers. They're called mixed numbers because they have like a whole number and a fraction. So that's a mixed number. We're going to practice changing this to an improper fraction using something called the Texas method. So Texas, the state is TX on a map. But we're going to use lowercase t this time. I know Texas is important, but we're going to use lowercase t. So I'm going to put the plus here and the x here, or times here. Texas, see? So 3 1/2 is how many halves? That's the question. 3 1/2 is how many halves? Well, 3 wholes times 2 is 6 halves. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 3 1/2 is equivalent to 7 halves. Let's do it again. Plus and times. So 2 wholes and 1/3 is how many thirds? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6 thirds. Plus 1 more is 7 thirds. Cool, we have 7 twice. 4 3/5 is how many fifths? Well, 4 wholes. 4 times 5 is 20. So 4 wholes is 20 fifths. 20 plus 3 is 23. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Texas method. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is... I don't know why I stumbled. 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have 8 thirds. So 1 3/4 is how many fourths? So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. Oh, another 7. And Texas method, 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So 2 and 5 6 is 17 sixths. Basically, all we did is change our mixed numbers to improper fractions. Let's go ahead and we're going to need that. So you go for a walk. You walk 3/4 of a mile, and then you sit down and you take a rest. And then you walk 5/12 of a mile. So you walked that long, and then you walked that much. How far did you walk altogether? Okay, so are we combining two quantities? Are we finding out how much is left over? Or are we calculating how much more one quantity is over another quantity? This is pretty simple. It looks like we're just combining distance. We're combining how much you walked the first time and how much you walked the second time to figure out how far you went together. So we're combining, which means we're going to add. So 3/4 plus 5/12. In order to add, we need a common denominator. So I'm going to change the 4 to 12 because 4 goes into 12. Remember, if you don't know how to find the common denominator, you can just start counting, and then we can see that the 12s match up. So 3/4 is how many twelfths? This is what we've done this part before. So 9/12. So really it's 9/12. We didn't have to change this one because it was already 12ths. Plus 5/12, which is 14/12. Now it's improper. Let's change it to a mixed number. So how many holes can we pull out? We can pull out 1 hole. How much would be left over? 2. 2 what? 2/12. And let's reduce. By 2. So we get 1 1/6. And in terms of the story, it says how far did they walk? They walked 1 1/6 miles. So let's write our answer in words in a sentence. So how far did you walk altogether? I walked a total of 1 and 1/6 miles. Not too bad. Let's look at the next one. You give 2 and 1/3 pans of brownies to your sister. If you don't have a sister, your imaginary sister. And then you give 1/6 of a pan to your mom. How many total pans did you give away? So are we trying to find out how much is left over? No, it doesn't say how much is left. We're not trying to see how much more you gave to your mom or your sister. You actually just want to know how many total you gave away. So you want to combine the pans together to see how much total pans you gave away. How much, you know? So even though we're giving away in the story, we're not asking how much is left. We're giving away in the story, but we're asking how much in total did you give away? Like if you give away $2 and then $3, you gave away $5. So we're combining how much you gave away. So 2 and 1/3, and we're going to combine that with the 1/6 to figure out how much total you gave away. First thing I want to do is convert this. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So 2 and 1/3 is actually 7/3. And we'll rewrite it. Cool, so we got another easy common denominator. I can just change 7/3 to 6, 2 6 times 2 times 2 is 14. So instead of 7/3, I'm going to write 14/6, and then I'm going to add 1/6, and I get 15/6. How many holes can I pull out of here? Well, 6, 12, so I can pull out 2 holes. How much is left over? 3. 3 what? 3/6. Because I use the same denominator still. Let's reduce it. 2 and 1/2. But how many brownies did I give away? So I gave 2 and 1/2 pans away. Or, yeah, you did. So the answer is, you gave, or I gave, this is kind of ambiguous, you gave 2 and 1/2 pans, remember complete sentences, of brownies away. Okay, next page. So Michael has a rope that is 4.5 meters long. He cuts it into 2 pieces. The length of one rope is 1 1/4 meters. What is the length of the second piece of rope? So we're not combining anything here. Like we have this rope, and then you cut it off, and then you have one of your lengths is this much. How long is the other one? So we're finding out how much of the rope is left over from that other piece, right? So this will work. It's not exactly, but it'll work. Always select one of these. So we had a rope that was 4 1/2 meters long, and one of them was 1 1/4. So we're going to take that away to figure out how long the other piece is. Let's use our Texas method. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 4 and 1/2 is 9 halves. And 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. Well, 5/4. That was my mistake. Now let's find a common denominator. This one's easy also. We can just use 4, but let's just choose something different. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 4, 8. Okay, let's use eighths. Okay, so we have 9 halves is how many eighths? That's times 4. Times 4 is 36 eighths. So 36 eighths. And then we're going to take away 5/4. So 5/4 is how many eighths? Let's see. It's 10 eighths. So minus 10 eighths. So 36/8 minus 10/8 is 26/8. How many holes can I pull out? Well, I go 8, 16, 24. So that's 3 holes. So 24, and then how much left over? 2. 2 what? 2/8. And I can reduce, and I get 3 1/4 meters. Always, always, always put your units. If you do not, then you will not receive credit for your work. So what is the length of the second piece of rope? The length of the second piece, is that his piece? Yeah, is 3 1/4 meters. Okay, we have one more, I believe. Yes. So the location of a field trip is 5 3/4 miles from school. A tire of the school bus is punctured. So I guess like you're on a field trip, right? You're supposed to go 5 3/4 miles away, because this is a weird story. And the tire of a school bus is punctured after 3 1/2 miles. How many miles is the bus away from the destination? So I guess once again we're finding out how much is left over, like how much of the trip or how many of the miles are left. Don't be afraid to use this one if this one makes sense. Sometimes it's like, how much more coffee do you have? How much, I don't know, how much more, and now I'm thinking about like just all liquids and food at this point. How many more buttons you have than somebody else? Then that's also another reason you would subtract. So these two right here, just so you know, are subtraction. So I'll just, instead of doing that, I'll put subtraction here. And then this one, of course, is addition. In your work, you will have to pick a reasoning for adding or subtracting. So we were this far away, and then, or the kids on the bus were, and the bus driver, and then they went this far, 3 1/2 miles. And how much is left over? So let's Texas method this up. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. I should write this over here. 23/4. Texas method this one up. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 halves. I don't want to do anything fancy. Let's just make fourths, because this one's good already. We just have to change 7 halves. 7 halves is how many fourths? Oops. Times 2 times 2 is 14/4. So it's going to say 23/4 plus 14/4. So that gives me 37/4. Ooh, I can pull out a lot of holes, right? Wait, something's weird here. I changed this from from subtraction to addition. It should be subtraction. Subtraction. So, you know what? I'm actually going to back up here. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, better. We can do this quicker. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 halves. And we said that 7 halves was how many fourths? It was 14/4. So you have 23/4 minus 14/4. Okay, now we're back there. 23 minus 14 will give us 9/4. How many holes can you pull out? 2, because that would give you 8. How much is left over? 1/4. So we can't reduce anything here. So this is 1/4 miles. I'll just put MI for miles. The location of the field trip, so how many miles? I'll just put how many. Okay, the bus. Yeah, we're talking about the bus. The bus is still 2 1/4 miles away. that is it. Thank you.